Edwin Sifuna.
Speaker, I wanted to comment on the statement from the Senator of Nandi, but I wanted to let this House know that we had actually submitted a motion of adjournment to discuss what happened to Senator Ososi. It is quite heartbreaking, Honorable Speaker, because this is the first day we resume after that incident. We were hoping to get opportunity to have that conversation. I'm told that the Speaker has not approved, and as somebody pointed out, Honorable Speaker, up to today, the leadership of this House has not communicated on something that happened to one of our colleagues. It's quite disappointing and sad. Honorable Speaker, let me just address the question of voter registration that Senator Wambua has brought. You know, Speaker, as a leader of a political party myself, we have run multiple registration drives in previous elections, and we know just how difficult it is, which is why, Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to commend the young people of this country who have decided that they are going to run this registration drive themselves. There's a young man on social media, Honorable Speaker, called Allen Zademba. If there was ever a person in this country who deserves a state commendation, it is that young man who has mobilized the Kadi movement. Mr. Speaker, you'll remember a few years ago, this country actually awarded a HSC, a head of state commendation, to somebody for simply standing in a line holding a bag of githeri for voting. So what Alan Zademba has been able to achieve in terms of registration of over 1 million young people in a very short space, I think even these titles that some of us have should be given to people like Alan Zademba because of the civic education that he's doing there. And at a fraction, Honorable Speaker, of the budgets that we see from IEBC. I just want that in that statement as well, the committee addresses some of the concerns that we have seen. First of all, this commission that is headed by Rastas AFCON is very poor in communication. There was a lot of confusion when they told us the issue of people who registered prior to 2012. We need them to communicate with clarity, Honorable Speaker, and address some of the concerns that we have heard from the ground, including, Honorable Speaker, allegations of registration of foreigners, especially in the border.
Senator Dr. Mboni Karware.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the statement on AFCON by Senator Sige is very important. However, I notice that she's more keen on infrastructure. To succeed at AFCON, the infrastructure will help us in hosting and for the entire tournament. It should also concern the committee that we be told the investment into the national team Harambee Stars, Mr. Speaker. We'd like to know how much money has been invested into the team, how the team is going to be accommodated. Mr. Speaker, if there are any incentives, let the committee be told so that we don't leave it at the whim of politicians to start saying the top scorer, every time you win, I'll give you this many millions. We don't want that kind of arrangement. We want a proper budget. If there is an incentive, it be clear to players that if I score, I'll get this much. And if we win as a team, we will get this as an incentive, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, finally, on the statement by Wambua, I want to congratulate Kakamega for coming number 3 as of now, led by Nairobi, Kiambu, then Kakamega, and Nakuru. Mr. Speaker, to large counties like Kakamega and Kiambu, we would like the government to make it possible, because the distances from voters' homes to polling station is vast, to make it possible so that we have mobile registration running to the nearest shop.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a comment on the statement brought by the Senator for Busia, Senator Omtata, on the matter of dab sites, Mr. Speaker, in the city of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, unlike Senator Olekina, who says he goes to industrial area every day, I may not be going there every day, Mr. Speaker, but one thing is for sure, that the level at which we are degrading our environment, especially in the city county of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, it's actually a national crisis. What we are looking at is a situation where very, very soon, Mr. Speaker, if measures are not put in place, certain very, very important companies will have to either reduce the number of staff or close shop because of the level of degradation, Mr. Speaker, that has taken place around those areas. And in particular, Mr. Speaker, when you talk about Karatasi industry, that's a factory that has been in existence for the longest time. Now it's being choked by a dump site, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the last time I checked, I saw that the national government was trying to help the city county of Nairobi to manage their solid waste. The Speaker, if it does not begin with the dump sites, then I don't know where that help, Mr. Speaker, is beginning. I want to ask the committee, Mr. Speaker, to move with speed to ensure that this matter is addressed as a matter of urgency, to ensure that our companies remain afloat. Most of the people, Mr. Speaker, I've checked, most of the people who are employed in those companies around that dump site are actually people from companies, Mr. Speaker. So as a leader from that.
Senator Sige.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I am unfortunately going to complain again about these multi-Congress units, which even though we spent as a Senate several million of shillings to revamp them in the chambers, they continue to be inaccessible, Speaker, especially to those of us with sensory disabilities. And that's unfortunate, Chair. I've been waiting for an opportunity, but I hope that this will be addressed. It's on the same basis of accessibility that I make a comment on Senator Wambua's mass registration statement. Speaker, I unfortunately with pain want to report to the House that I have been to a couple of these centers where the IEBC are performing these registration of new voters, and I have done audits. Most of them are inaccessible to people with disabilities. They continue to be so, Speaker. I keep asking the question to IEBC, are your officers trained on disability assistance? Are your centers accessible in terms of having ramps, in terms of having entrances and exits that are accessible to people with disabilities? Speaker, are the kits even accessible to people with disabilities? And these answers continue to come back as negative. Mr. Speaker, I would also like IEBC, through the statement by Wambua, to address issues on uncollected IDs by the public, because that continues to be an issue that will hinder the full participation of every single Kenyan when it comes to our elections next year. Speaker, because if we want a new generation of leaders, we will have to have a new generation of voters. And Mr. Speaker, you will be pleased, or maybe you'll be disappointed to know that in Nairobi, there are over 600,000 uncollected IDs sitting somewhere in buildings, and IEBC and the immigration departments are doing nothing to look for these people, to make sure that they have their IDs so they can go and register to vote next year. Mr. Speaker, in the coastal region, there are also tens of thousands of uncollected IDs.
Give Senator Sige 30 seconds to conclude on the coastal region. 30 seconds, starting now.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I was saying that on the coast, data shows that in Mombasa, for example, Kilifi actually is leading with 14,000 uncollected IDs, and it's followed by Mombasa with 10,025 uncollected. Kwale with 3,683, Taita Taveta with 1,436, Tana River with 1,278, and Lamu with 1,049 uncollected IDs. And in the West, Speaker, Kakamega, that is, Vihiga, Bungoma, and also Busia, has 7,965, 2,388, 7,145, and 4,008 uncollected IDs, respectively, in the Western region. And it continues, Speaker. So when we discuss voter registration, and if we want to do it at mass, we also need to understand and address the issue of uncollected national